Hello, my beautiful friends. Namaste. I'm Jill Loftus of Nuit Astrology. Welcome to your planetary energy forecast for the week of January the 6th, 2025. Now, this is an interesting and important week with some very focused energies. Now, remember, we're still coming off of that little argument energy between, well, it's not little argument energy, it's kind of explosive argument energy between Pluto, the planet of death and regeneration, and Mars, our action-oriented warrior planet. Now, remember, Mars is currently in its retrograde phase that began mid-September and goes until May 2nd. And it's been bridging two signs, both the sign of Cancer, which is the normal ruler of the moon, more intuitive, more nurturing, caretaking, familial, that kind of energy. And then the leadership, empowered, king of the throne, goddess on the mount kind of energy of Leo. Now, it has been moving backwards, and as it moved backwards, starting last week, right around the first of the year, it began to come into that power struggle position, the opposition with Pluto. Now, this is an energy that we experienced the first week of November. This is an energy we will experience again in April, so it is definitely worth monitoring. And as of the recording of this planetary energy forecast, I will say that it has shown itself in some very unfortunate, dire, and violent events. You really must pay attention to when two of the malefic planets come into a contact, particularly a difficult contact. And I think that this has expressed itself very strongly. It's also giving us some hints as to how Pluto is going to renovate our society, our world, our life in the new sign of Aquarius versus the work that it did from 2008 until the end of last year in the sign of Capricorn. Now, we are still in this opposition energy, and sometimes we talk about planets firing early or late, okay? So think of that. Like, for example, Saturn. A lot of times Saturn, you don't really notice the transit until it's a little late. Well, with Mars energy, sometimes it's a little faster. With Pluto, sometimes it's a little slower or more insidious, okay? But I would definitely say we are still observing this opposition energy as we step into the week. Now, interestingly enough, on Monday the 6th, this is when Mars backs up to 29 Cancer in that retrograde phase. So 29 of any sign is always kind of a volume up experience because it is the last bits, right? The finest of the fine filters. This energy you would have experienced the last week of October, very first part of November. So you might wish to kind of understand or feel into the tonal change of Mars in that leadership, listen to me, setting forth the rules, really, magnetic, beautiful sign of Leo, stepping back into the more nurturing, sensitive, maybe even hypersensitive sign of Cancer. This is definitely a tone shift, so be observant of that. I love also because I think that will break the tractor beam to a certain extent of that engagement with Pluto. It certainly will not take it out of the mathematical range, but it will kind of calm, I would think, the aspect. But again, it's possible that this energy will be in play throughout the week. So all the regular caution flags are up about power struggles, arguments, anything that you might want to engage in. It could get really big, extreme, more than you would expect. So keep it between the lines, have good boundaries, have good intuition about the week. This is also, while we're experiencing on this same day, we're experiencing Mercury in our mind, how we speak, write, and think, in the very bold, adventurous sign of Sagittarius, coming into a clash, a negative square, a harsh square with Neptune in Pisces. Now, this is delusion, delusions of grandeur, conspiracy theories, boldly going in the wrong direction, a clash of philosophical ideals or beliefs. And unfortunately, this all occurs on the 6th of the month, where we also are, I want to observe in the United States, this is the 4 years since the insurrection at the Capitol. And that Mars was at 29 degrees back in 2021 when that happened. And this time around, with it being at 29 Cancer, that's a precise square of that point. So there is a clash here. There are certainly people's ideals are riled up, their feelings, their philosophies, their religion, all of that is really spun up as we start this week. So yeah, absolutely, the astrological caution flag is up. Watch your mind, watch your mouth, watch and observe other people and their potential to be overly reactive. We also have Chiron in Aries in a square to the sun in Capricorn at this time as well. And because they're both cardinal energies, you might feel this as well. This is just a push-pull between that desire to heal your independent nature, and then you may run up against, I don't know, somebody who's in charge who's against you. Could bring up daddy issues that you need to resolve or things like that. Could be that the rules feel like they're excessive or heavy, or that you're having to parse through that in some way. So that's another undercurrent to the week. Another important thing that will occur this week is a nodal shift. Now, if you follow the true node, this is the week on Wednesday when we experience, is it Wednesday? No, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday, we experience the nodal shift on the 11th. And that is when the lunar nodes, the nodes of the moon, these mathematical points in space that we follow because they relate to the interaction between the moon and the earth, that body that is so close to us, that does influence us in kind of unseen and mysterious ways sometimes. They move backwards. The north node is moving into the sign of Pisces, and the south node is moving into the sign of Virgo. Now, that means they are finishing up their time in the signs of Aries and Libra. Now, one of the things that's a little bit of a help and assistance this whole week, even when they change signs, is that both Pluto and Mars are in a beautiful connection with the nodes. There are definitely some major relationship issues coming to a head, but also this kind of culmination of how do we find our way and how do we work with others? And then how do we connect spiritually? How do we connect cosmically? And yet also remain discerning and wise and not caught up in the trappings of the earth plane. These are some of the themes that both Pluto and Mars are going to be helping us to understand and move through this week. Now, when you look at the 11th and what symbolically happens for you, you'll want to look back at July of 2006. That was the last time that the nodes moved into these two signs. And it will be important for these next year and a half or so to embrace the highest vibrational qualities of Pisces energy. Now, Neptune has been there introducing us to both sides, the shadow and the light of Pisces. Saturn has been sweeping through Pisces, really giving us some consequences to some of those choices, decisions, or manifestations based on the illusory, glamorous, inspired nature of Neptune. But now the nodes are there. And because they're moving backwards, they immediately will come into contact with Neptune. And Venus will meet them there shortly. This month has a lot of Pisces energy, and therefore Virgo energy is also activated. Remember, the mutables all come into clash patterns with each other. So whenever things are walking through the sign of Pisces, they're standing across the sky from Virgo, and they're introducing some difficult energy to both Sagittarius and Gemini. So I want you to feel into how you feel this kind of destabilization to a certain extent, right? This is going to feel a little, I don't know, emotional, watery, just kind of like, I don't know, cloudy, foggy. It's going to definitely require all of us to be a little bit more grounded, to pay a little bit more attention, to stay in the physical body, to stay in the practical reality, and set really good boundaries around things that could confuse us or send us off, or at least send our minds off in the wrong direction. So take note of how these nodal shifts occur for you. The other thing that will help us ground is that Mercury on the 8th will shift into the sign of Capricorn. So that is very positive. Even though it will pick up a clash pattern with the nodes, it will stabilize a little bit. It will slow down just a little bit, but not before it hits that complex interaction with Neptune, clashes with the nodes, and then slips into this new sign. So just be aware that the mind could be very agitated at the end of the week, it will be easier to stabilize the mind through grounding practices. You know, apply your good Capricorn vision to be dedicated, to be disciplined. Give yourself some small goals throughout the day. Really stay focused, stay nimble. Those are some of the highest expressions of Capricorn energy. And then as we finish up the week, Mars in Cancer is going to begin to flow beautifully with Neptune. And so I find this to be really helpful. I think this is going to be a wonderful energy to inspire us, to help to kind of soothe our more sensitive selves. And really, you know, you're still going to need to remain grounded, but this will give us more of a deeper understanding of some of the things that have unfolded. And so the more you can cosmically, spiritually assess where you're at, how things are getting sorted as we move through these kind of difficult couple months at the beginning of the year in preparation for the truly destabilizing months of March and April, that will be more helpful, I think. As far as the light of the week, I'm still really connecting that Pluto-Mars, even though they're standing across the sky from each other, that mystic rectangle that I mentioned before, because they're connecting with the lunar nodes. Those nodes of fate really do magnetize us and help us to see who belongs and who doesn't, and that what is ours can't be taken from us, and what is not ours we cannot hold on to it, right? I'm also kind of excited about the nodal shift. As somebody who has a lot of planets in Libra and Aries, I am ready for them to move on. I'm ready to get through those experiences and move into this Virgo Pisces energy. And then the Mars trine Neptune. Make sure at the end of the week that you're devoting some time to artistic pursuits or creative writing or mind mapping. You know, take up an instrument, do something new, listen to some inspiring music. All of that might be really a lovely way to use this energy. Now, as far as the shadow of the week, well, of course, we're going to keep an eye on that Mars-Pluto and the Mercury square to Neptune and the nodes. This could be very agitating to the mind, okay? Just be very, have your little filter on so that before you send the text, hit send, take a breath. Get yourself centered. Is it real? Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it helpful? If it's not, move on. Don't let the agitated mind create more agitation. It's kind of like, if you're in the pond and the water is very disturbed, by splashing more, you're not going to gain any clarity or calmness, right? You have to kind of initiate that clarity and calmness, and then everything around you can follow suit, can pick up on that vibration and come to stillness, come to some sense of peace. I'm also keeping an eye on that Chiron square, the sun. Chiron's been at 19 degrees forever. I think it's been like almost 2 months. So if you have any particularly cardinal points at 19, or just really be aware that that's been reverberating, wrapping up those lessons as it moves off this point. It won't be back here in your lifetime, so take comfort in that. And then that's my 3 for the shadow for the week. So keep an eye on those things. All right, well, I wish you the most marvelous week. I hope that the new year has been full of positive symbols for you, that you're able to initiate new beginnings. Please join me for my life transformation course, which will begin on January the 11th. I look forward to working with each of you individually. This is a completely self-paced 8-week course that introduces all the deeper teachings of yoga, introduces the philosophical and moral precepts, does help with the physical body as well, but introduces meditation, concentration, etc. So join me there. More information is on the website, and let's see what the tarot has to say about this pretty busy astrological week. Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome to your Isis Lotus Tarot spread for the week of January the 6th, 2025. Wowee. We are ready to roll. Pretty pointed week, I would say, astrologically. The positive energies are extremely focused in service of progressing us along our path, right? So definitely have this attitude of gratitude as things unfold this week. I think there might be, remember Mercury is out of shadow, so a little forward momentum this week, which we all might appreciate. So let's take a look at the reading for the collective for the week of January the 6th. Isis Lotus Tarot spread. It gives us two different potential ways to flow with the energy. All right, so the first card is the past, where we're coming from. Ace of Pentacles. So we're coming from this initiation of the new year, right? The energy of beginnings, practical, concrete, material in the world. Yes, we're trying to begin again. And you, the star, you're trying to put things together, all the things that haven't worked out, all the things that you aren't bringing with you into your future. You're in this kind of healing phase in a lot of ways. And the environment, Two of Cups, I love it. Perfect situation, perfect person. Scan your perimeter for very potent, meetings, connections. Don't take any text, email, contact, meeting somebody at the coffee shop. Some of these things could be really, really perfect. Again, it could be the right environment, right? So the perfect job, the perfect neighborhood, the perfect new house, the perfect, new country. All right. And the beginning of the culmination of these influences, we have the High Priestess. Remember, you are guided and being held and led. This is a very cosmic moment. It's not just about what's happening here on Earth. As above, so below. So the changes that are happening here, they're very connected to the spiritual cosmos, to the universal in some way, right? So really see the big picture here and know that you are supported. Now, the key card of the future is Two of Wands. You are at a crossroads. A choice will need to be made. Opposing forces in play. Seven of Wands, so you're either going to have to set a boundary, or King of Cups. Look for an intuitive water sign, sensitive, kind male energy who is there to help you. Now, the near future detail card, Knight of Swords. You're going to have to, once you make this decision, right, you're moving in one direction or the other, you have to approach it logically, but you also have to get your brain behind what you're trying to do. Now, the modifications for this, Queen of Wands, tending to things, taking care of things, or on the King of Cups side, the Moon. So definitely one side is wands, the other is more water. So let's feel into that. And then with this Seven of Wands, Queen of Wands, we have the Tower energy. Big change, massive change. On the King of Cups Moon side, we have the Ace of Wands. So now wand energy gets introduced to this emotional side of things. Now there's two different progressions. The first side over here on Seven of Wands, Queen of Wands, Tower, we have the Eight of Swords, self-limitation, self-destructive patterns of thinking, holding yourself back, worry, worry, worry. Okay, rip that blindfold off. On the other side, King of Cups, the Moon, Ace of Wands, Eight of Wands. So rapidly unfolding events on that side. Over on Seven of Wands, Queen of Wands, the Tower, and Eight of Swords, Three of Swords. A lot of difficult emotions here as well. So not just mental difficulties, but emotional stress as well. And then on the other side, King of Cups, the Moon, Ace of Wands, Eight of Wands, we have the Ace of Swords. So clearly a lot of new beginnings forming here. Now, remember, you're coming from this Ace of Pentacles, right? You're trying to start something new. And you are the star, healing, trying to put things back together, build the life. The environment is good for you, okay? You're in the right situation, trust that. And trust that the High Priestess is there to support you. The key card is the choice that you need to make, the decision. You've got to move forward. Now, on the one hand, you're setting better boundaries to create the life you want, or on the other hand, you're being partnered with somebody. Now, either way, the mind and the mouth need to move forward. You have to make decisions. Now, remember, you're having this stressful Mercury-Neptune aspect this week. So be very diligent in doing your research as you move forward. On the Seven of Wands side, the defensive side, the creating space side, you're trying to tend to something, take care of things, but yet things are still unstable. There's still change, and it's stressful change, okay? So if you feel that, just realize that that's what's going on. On the other side, if you are moving, making this decision, moving towards working with, dating, mating, working with, partnering with this King of Cups energy, still must approach it logically, but also deeply intuitively, and you need to be ready to begin brand new everything, right? Remember, the original card at the very base of this lotus is the Ace of Pentacles, right? And so on this side, you have the other two aces as well as the Eight of Wands. So looks like very rapidly evolving week for sure. If you're on this Tower side of things, really watch your mind, okay? Really watch your mind and make sure it's in service of what you want. If you are on this initiating start side of things, for sure, realize that there are new beginnings, but tap into your intuitive sense so that it can guide you forward. All right. Well, I hope you found this useful and helpful. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you next week, guys. Bye.